So, this girl committed a deadly sin. She didn't condemn JK Rowling and say that she was an evil demon witch. It's bad. It's real bad out there, guys. It's super bad.
The trans stuff is just over, right? We all understand the trans stuff is over. And you get these just small cultural moments that put a pin in it and be like, yep, okay, that's where everyone was just like, yeah, we don't care. We don't care anymore, and this isn't going anywhere from this point onwards. And Keira Knightley, not really giving a damn about the objection to J.K. Rowling and J.K. Rowling's virulent turfism, was pretty much the point for a lot of these people, where it's become very, very clear that this nonsense just doesn't fly anymore.
People don't want to hear about some weirdo on the internet telling them what's normal. You need to shut the fuck up.
As you can see from this interview where she's asked about, what do you think
the fuck up. Nobody wants to hear
the fact that there are lots of people who object to J.K. Rowling and your work, because the thing is, she's working in a film that's based on a book by J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
And she's just like, what? I don't know.
Saw your voicing Professor Umbridge in the new Harry Potter audiobooks. I was wondering, are you aware that some fans are calling for a boycott, given J.K. Rowling's ongoing campaign against trans people?
I was not aware of that, no. I'm very sorry. You know, I think we're all living in a...
Yeah. No, not really. I mean, oh, really? Damn. That's crazy. Wow.
We're all going to have to figure out how to live together, aren't we? And we've all got very different opinions. So I hope that we can all find respect.
That's right. That's right. And she gave a political answer to it. She's like, well, you know what? People are going to have different opinions than you are, and that's life. And it's like, let me guess. The internet is fucking furious about this. Uh-oh. I bet.
Woman currently respecting trans rights.
And also, by the way, that answer isn't even anything negative about trans people. Like, I think that a lot of, and this is the way that I think a lot of even liberals feel, is that, like, this is at least the way I feel. Like, you want to be trans, be trans. I don't care. It's fine. You go do hormone therapy, get surgery, go ahead. Fine. If you think that's going to make you a happy person, then I think everybody has, you know, again, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You want to do that? Go and do that. The problem is that whenever you want to go into exclusive biological women's spaces, like, and this is the problem, is that you always have people that push it over the line. Nobody has I mean, I say nobody. There's a lot of people that don't like trans people. I'm not one of those people. But there's a line where I think that most reasonable people drop off. And that's about, you know, women's only spaces and sports. I think that's where you lose the mega majority. And kids, talk, and then introducing the idea of being trans to a kid. Yeah.
Learn to live together and find respect. And you can, this all went down like an absolute lead balloon with exactly the people you'd expect. The Guardian were just like, my God. She was there apparently promoting a Netflix movie, The Woman in Cabin 10. But she is also doing audiobooks of Harry Potter series. And in this Woman in Cabin 10, she plays a Guardian reporter, so the Guardian must have been thrilled, which is what I'm looking at here.
Yeah.
But, and then you've got to remember that J.K. Rowling, as I've covered previously, doesn't give a shit about any of this now. Rowling, like, this is the thing, I really, really enjoy J.K. Rowling's attitude towards men in dresses and their advocates. Rowling recently responded to Emma Watson because Emma Watson was like, oh, I still love her. And J.K. Rowling was like, get fucked.
Was crazy. Like, that, honestly, it's like getting in a fight with a writer on Twitter is like fighting Aquaman at the bottom of the ocean. You just fucked up. Really, like, you just fucked up straight up. Should not have done that.
Anyway, so yeah, like, as you can imagine, there were lots of them who were very upset.
Even celebrities are tired of the bullshit because people don't want to be told. The reason why celebrities are tired of it is because celebrities never liked it to begin with. They just thought that they had to play along with it in order to get roles and to fit in with social norms. You really think that all the celebrities all have the same viewpoints on this shit? Fuck no. I bet you talk to a lot of these people privately, they probably think the same thing that you do. Like, it's just that, you know, you work in a business and you're in an industry, you have to say certain things and get along with certain people and have viewpoints, right? Of course. Now, you had somebody you remember Mel Gibson.
Of the sort of like moderate reactions. You've got like normie women influencers who are just like, yeah, even celebrities are tired of this. It's over. So thanks to Keira Knightley to giving like the average woman permission to not give a shit about this woke trans BS anymore.
Well, it's more than that. I think it's beyond that. It's that people don't want to be accosted and constantly tried for the crimes of somebody else. Like Keira Knightley playing a role inside of an audiobook that is for a really popular series. What the fuck does that have to do with really JK Rowling specifically? What is that? Like, that's her job. Like, her job isn't to, like, do you know the amount of people, like, the weirdos, like, you know, fucking, like, I don't know, like, H.P. Lovecraft was racist as fuck, for example. There's plenty of people, like, it's like so many degrees of separation, and it's like at a certain point, people just want to get mad because they have nothing else to do.
Keira Knightley refuses to kowtow to petty trans insanity. Refreshing. I officially love Keira Knightley.
To do?
That laugh says it all. Tired and fed up with the petulant, childlike mob that demands our entire world deny the reality of gender. Worse off, deny the reality of biological sex. But yeah, no, seriously, JK Rowling is winning this fight. Good for her.
It's not even J.K. Rowling that's winning the fight. I think it's just common sense and rationality. What's happened is that reasonable people have entered into the space and they've seen that the amount of overreach that some of these trans advocates have are, I think, completely unreasonable. Like you have, for example, people trying to bring this up to children. You have them trying to insert themselves into locker rooms for underage girls. You have them trying to, you know, change the way that sports are seen and the way that sports are played. That's the problem. Like, I think that the truth is that most average people, this is a genuine belief that I have, most average people don't give a fuck about trans people. Now, they might not necessarily agree with it or like think that you can change your gender, but they'll play along and they're not really going to care because they have their own lives and they have their own problems. And at the end of the day, getting in a fight with you over what gender you are really just gets in the way of the rest of their day, right? They don't really care. But whenever these things invade their spaces, whenever you are now requiring them to comply with your vocabulary, now you are effectively enlisting them inside of your worldview. And I think that whenever you put a position out and it's a you're either with us or against us position, every single time that happens, I feel the end result is that most people are against you. And it's not even that you usually have a bad position. It's that people just don't want to be told what the fuck to do. They don't want to be talked around. They don't want to be talked down to. They don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be bullied and pushed around, just in a general sense.
Now, Keira Knightley, Pirates of the Caribbean fame, Keira Knightley, and many other things.
It's aggressive, yeah.
It's just like, ha, 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 this is really stupid, isn't it? And yes, those people are just going to have to learn to live together with the rest of us.
Yeah, you're going to have to deal with it, bro.
That's just the way that this goes.
You deal with it, yeah. Too bad.
BuzzFeed weren't happy. I can't believe BuzzFeed's still a thing. BuzzFeed shut down. Didn't BuzzFeed shut down?
He's thinking about golf.
All right, it was BuzzFeed News that shut down. BuzzFeed itself is still limping along, apparently.
So now BuzzFeed. So now they don't have news in the name. Okay, well that's good. It was false advertising.
But they seem to have forgotten what decade it is. It's not the 2010s anymore. We don't have to give a damn about you when we don't.
I don't accept somebody's apology. Okay, Emily. That's nice. The reason why these people have such a huge problem is that people think that anybody gives a fuck what they think. And I think this is the real realization that's bothering them, is they're realizing that a lot of people actually just don't give a fuck what they think. It doesn't matter whether your approval is or is not. Like, nobody cares. Like, why would anybody care what you think? You ain't shit.
And it became like their teenage and early 20s, and they were like, yeah, and I'm going to get a job writing at Metro. I'm so feminist. I'm so woke. Blah, 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 blah. And they're just like, I can't believe it. Yeah. I don't accept Keira Knightley's apology for working with JK Rowling. It's like, listen, Emily Bashforth, no one gives a fuck. Your opinion means nothing to anyone.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Nobody cares.
You write for Metro.
Yeah.
Duh. Nobody cares. Nobody cares at all. But let's head over to Blue Sky, because that's where you're going to get all the best reactions to just anything that there is going.
Yep.
I mean, this is just mad by the serfs.
Oh,
J.K. Rowling has denied the Nazi persecution of LGBTQ plus people in the Holocaust. I mean, at least she's not denying the Holocaust. Uses money she earns to legislate trans people out of existence. She's not a legislator. She just funds causes she believes in.
Yes.
Everyone does. Elon Musk funds Tommy. George Soros funds open borders and the mutilation of children. And J.K. Rowling funds politics to keep men in dresses out of women's spaces. And the Surfs TV is like, my God, I'll never forgive her for this. She asked her followers to photograph women going out into the washroom. No, she didn't. She asked her followers to photograph men going into the washroom. Now, I don't even know what that's about. That could be completely made up. But I certainly know J.K. Rowling wasn't like, you need to photograph women going into the bathroom, because it was trans women or women has got the serfs to that point.
It's like the illegal immigrant and immigrant is like you intentionally use the terms interchangeably and you radicalize people against it.
But either way, who cares? Shut up. Not
Who cares? This is the mentality that I think more people need to have with a lot of these weird purity testing, virtue signaling people on the internet. Whatever they say, shut the fuck up. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say, doesn't matter. Your opinions don't matter. Your audience is meaningless. Just shut the fuck up. Like, and I think the big issue is that people are too afraid to do that. They're afraid that, oh, well, there's going to be a few people on Twitter that don't like me, etc. Well, if somebody is rude to you, you can always just be rude back to them too, right? You can do that. And if they want to be a victim, well, then that's too bad. I mean, my outlook on this is very simple, is that I am generally very like non-confrontational, non-aggressive with people. But and the reason why is that most people can't really really aggress on me, right? I mean, like, what are they going to do? Make a tweet? Who cares? And I think that the big issue is that people like this have lived in a world for the last 10 years where they've been living in the delusion that their opinion mattered. And now I think that rational people are realizing that the amount of people that actually feel this way is very, very minimal. It's a super outspoken minority on the internet, but for the most part, nobody really likes them, nobody cares about them, and almost nobody even agrees with them. So once people realize that, and it didn't have the same impact that they thought it did, now that's why you have companies that are moving away from this. That's the exact reason people are catching on, is that an internet tweet that's popular, that's a bunch of retards getting mad, doesn't matter. It never mattered, but some people thought it did because they were just delusional.
Keira Knightley said, we're all going to figure out how to live together. You are just going to have to suck it up, I'm afraid.
Deal with it, bitch.
And to the people suggesting I'm taking her out of context, the clip's even worse, when she just seems to laugh at the idea of caring about other people's human rights.
Oh, nobody cares about this shit, bro. Like, nobody cares. I would say that woke people have been extremely overrepresented in everything. They have. They absolutely have, and nobody likes them. They don't even like themselves.
So based. Fuck your human rights, bro. Actually, this is such a weird thing as well. Nobody has the human right to go into the bathroom of the opposite sex.
Yeah, you don't have a human right to go into another gender bathroom. Like, they use these terms, and the reason why they use these terms is so they can emotionally elevate the conversation to give themselves the upper hand in the battle of optics. But the reality is that he's completely right. Nobody has the human right to have everybody else agree with what their pronouns are. Nobody has the human right to be seen as any specific gender, to be agreed with, to be, complied with, or anything like that. Nobody has that right.
Right that anyone has. Women have not any right to walk into the men's bathrooms, and men have no right to walk into the women's bathrooms, and it's not a human right. And therefore, saying, well, I'm a man in a dress, I'd like the human right to walk into the women's bathrooms. Sorry, you don't have that.
Yeah.
You just don't have that. It's not a human right anyone has. So, I would laugh at this human right too, because it's quite stupid.
It's ridiculous.
And funny. Ridiculous. Then you have Maeve, degenerate anarchist, JK Rowling wants to strip me of my rights. Man, I do. Just on your title.
Cantankerous she-her attempting academia. See, this is what I've been trying to warn y'all about for a while. I've been trying to tell y'all about this.
But anyway, JK Rowling wants to strip me of my rights. Keira Knightley, have you tried meeting her halfway?
Yeah.
Or have you tried just going in the men's?
Yeah.
Because I suspect that's where you actually belong, right? Like you just have to deal with the fact you don't have the right to go in the bathroom of the opposite sex.
Yep.
Anyway, Keira Knightley, we all have to live together. Learn to live together while taking money from a mad bastard in a castle who openly wants trans people eradicated from society.
It's crazy that these people don't even know, like, they think that they can reframe things in a way that sounds bad, and somehow that's going to make people agree with them. I don't think that people really care as much about optics as they used to. And I think that what's happened is that, especially as social media has become more decentralized and there's more freedom of speech, I think there's less of a compelling nature that social media has to make people feel like they have to say things in the right way. Like now, I don't think people really need to do that. This would have worked 5 years ago, right? It would have. But nowadays, it doesn't anymore because people don't feel like they have to put on this fake persona. Because actually, a lot of people don't want to live with this. And I think that a lot of people's genuine opinions about these social issues are extremely right-wing, much more so than you would expect. But the Overton window doesn't really allow for those people to get their voices out. So they're just simply cosplaying as moderates until things change. And when they do change, I think that you're really going to be surprised what they actually think about you. And I think that's where things are going. It's very obvious that's where things are going, in my opinion. But thank you, Elon. Well, I mean, exactly. Well, Elon buying Twitter was definitely the beginning of the end of this, right? Elon disenchanted the censorship. Elon, I think, is solely responsible for censorship on the internet dying. Like, he was not obviously, like, he did not do it all by himself. But if he didn't buy Twitter, we would still be living in the hellscape that we were living in prior to that. Like him buying Twitter, that was, I think, the turning point. You know, there's two paths forward and we went on a different path. If that had not happened, we would be living in a totally different world right now.
I don't actually think JK Rowling wants anyone eradicated. I think she just doesn't want men having access to women's private spaces. Those spaces that are specifically for women. Like, you shouldn't be in the women's changing rooms in the showers.
Exactly.
In the swimming pool or something like that. It's not that big it's actually really normal.
Yeah.
It's actually the way things used to work until around 2011.
Yeah.
So it's really not, like, so radical.
Well, here's the problem that I think a lot of these people need to realize is that if enough people think that you're not human and enough people want to take away your rights, they're gone. That's what happens. Like, these people think that all of these things are these inalienable ideas that can't be taken away. They absolutely can. It's so easy to do. Countries all over the world do it all the time. And for anybody to think that, oh, well, this can't happen here, of course it can. Absolutely it can. As if we've evolved past mob rule. Well, it's always going to be mob rule. Of course you're going to have mob rule. Yeah, women don't have rights. They have privileges that men give them. I mean, like, I think that most people don't, right? I mean, and the entire idea of human rights as a concept is human rights don't exist naturally. They're a human construct. It's the same as, like, private property is a human construct, or, religion is a human construct, or anything like that. These things are not naturally occurring phenomenons. These are things that people invent. And any of these things that people can invent, people can also uninvent. And it can happen that fast. It's so easy to do.
But when you say you will refer to me as a woman, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do anything for you. I don't have to have any opinion at all about whether you are a man or a woman if I don't want. And if my eyes tell me that that's not the case, I'm not obliged to play along with your fetish, frankly.
Yep.
Rowling and TERFs, you should not exist. Cease existing. Trans people, we just want to live. Keira Knightley, we, have to respect differing views. No, my existence is non-negotiable. I will not die so you can enjoy your hateful bigotry. That's not going to happen.
Yes, it will. It absolutely will, because if enough people agree with her, then that's it. Like, it's crazy to me how delusional a lot of these people are, when for many of them, like, I mean, these people are at least partially educated, right? Like, I mean, you've got to have some understanding of history.
I'm not going to make mean jokes. I'm not going to make mean jokes. I'm going to move on. Keira Knightley is no friend of the trans community, and based on an interview that I've seen, she seems to think the persecution of trans people is funny. We'll never watch a film she's in again.
This is the reason why nobody likes these people, is that they hear something that they disagree with, and then they just blatantly misrepresent, exaggerate, lie, and just totally fucking make people look bad for no reason. And so, like, that's what I find to be so crazy about this, is that they're just making up a bunch of bullshit. And this is, I think this is where they lose a lot of average, normal, well-meaning people. When a person comes out and they disagree with them, and then these people come out with like a million accusations and lies and attacks on this person that are like deeply personal, blatantly dishonest, I think that a lot of average people see that and they're like, well, that's not true. Why are you making shit up? Like, what is this? And I think that the problem is that lying to the public in a way is an insult to the public in a very unique perspective, because what you're telling the public is that you're so stupid, I don't respect your intelligence enough for you to be able to tell the difference between the truth and a lie. So I'm going to lie to you and expect you to believe the lie. And that's the reason why I think so many of these people have lost the support of the general public, is because people are tired of being forcefully compelled and bullied into complying with a lie. That's the big issue. And also with people who will flagrantly lie about you, misrepresent you, and do all of these things just simply because you disagree with them on something. That's the reason.
You're in fact a radical fringe who've somehow gained some sort of cultural power.
Yes.
In order to browbeat everyone into agreeing, or at least staying silent and being complicit with, a crazy position.
Yep.
That is, I'm sorry to say, all wearing off now. The magic spell you cast is dissipating, and we're looking at the whole thing in the cold light of day, and actually, we don't have to care.
No, I think that's exactly what's happened, is that I think people have just generally...
By now,
people have generally kind of lost interest in trying to pay lip service to this kind of stuff. And now that that's happened, I think everybody is pretty much totally out on it. And they're okay. I think that most people, as I said before, this is a good video, and I think it's pretty funny to see the crash out over this. Well, you see the way that they lie about people and the way that they weaponize tragedies like the Holocaust, and they try to invoke things like Hitler and Nazis, etc. The reason and what's so off-putting about them is how emotionally aggressive and emotionally manipulative and hostile they are. And I think in doing so, they end up alienating so many people. They alienate so many people, and it makes people not like them. That's basically what's happened so far. And that's where things are going. Don't you think people categorizing trans people as spawns of Satan that want to rape and corrupt your children are doing the exact same thing? Well, yeah, I mean, but I'm not supporting them. Like, when did I say that trans people are the spawn of Satan? When did I say that? When did I support somebody that say that? When did I agree with somebody saying that? Like, it never happened, right? And so, like, and that's the problem, is that you try to emotionally escalate the conversation in order to take it away from the logical conversation, and now moving it into this highly emotionally charged, highly, like optics-based perspective, right? The fact is that there are trans people that do try to indoctrinate children. This does happen. Now, does this mean all trans people do that? No. But I do think that I don't think that trans ideology has any place in children's media. Like, I would say any under 13, at least, sexual material sexual education material, right? So it just has literally zero place in it. It's the same reason why you don't teach multiplication before addition, because you have to have you have to understand base sexuality to understand complex secondary sexualities like transsexualism, for example, right? And so you have to understand that before you can understand being transsexual. So if you start with being transsexual and then you teach kids all of these weird gender theories rather than letting them understand it in the natural way that it's been understood for thousands of years, you are going to fuck up their head. And that's not a crazy viewpoint. And the truth is that a lot of trans people agree with me on this. And the problem is that, and I know that people might not believe this, but I think that it's genuinely true. I think that there are a lot of people, and I actually believe this, I think the majority of trans people agree with me on these issues. And I think the only reason that they're not speaking out is because they're afraid to, because trans people are demonized in society. And so the only thing that they don't want to do is they don't want to speak out against the only side that's even partially on their side. So they don't agree with that in a lot of cases also. They don't want that shit either. So now, and if you have a trans person that's coming out and agreeing with this or supporting it, they get absolutely crucified because they're like, oh, you're being a pick-me, you're being a grifter, you're just trying to get people to like you. Most trans people just want to live their life as the other gender, and that's it. They have other interests. Their entire life isn't about just being the other gender. They have 50 other things they like doing. They just simply think that they're a girl. That's it. But the problem is that whenever you're trying to, it's the same thing that I said about the fat people, whenever you're trying to reshape all of society in your image and in your view, that is the big problem. That's the reason, and that's the thing that's really radicalized everybody. And so once you start trying to change social norms, once you start trying to change the way that, especially children are treated and things like that, I think that's really where it would go.